Good morning and welcome back to the Daily Deer. It is February 8th, day 39, I think. And let's get into the deer woods. Today I want to talk about planning next season's hunt with I don't know, not a spin necessarily, but a certain bend to it. And the quote today is, "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail," by Benjamin Franklin. Now, with deer season obviously behind us, it's a really good time to kind of expand your hunting opportunities for next fall. And with shed season here now ish, it's a great time to go out and explore new properties. And I think shed season is shed hunting is a really great way to go do that, especially if there's not too much snow on the ground that would be covering up the sheds. You can really cover a lot of ground and obviously be looking for sheds, but have an expansive mindset around learning new properties. Um, Something my cousin taught me. I don't think he has a name for it, or if he does, I'm going to get it wrong. But kind of this idea of speed scouting. He would cover a property with me, like we would just pace through it at a rate that was uncomfortable to keep up. In doing so, just really looking for obvious deer sign to determine, are there deer occupying this property, and like check it off the list and move on to the next one where you think they would be. Is it actually holding any deer? And I know that's actually a little bit controversial to some of the other daily deers we don't, where we talk about slowing down and studying all these different things. But you can move fast with a keen eye for key sign, and once you find that sign, then you slow down. I think Derek has talked about this too. And the bend of this one is a little bit of the excitement we have as hunters to explore. I think that's a a lot of what we embody is this sense of adventure and exploration. And I don't know, I think some of the most fun hunts I have are on areas I haven't been to or properties I haven't been to where I'm seeing it for the first time. It does something different to your mind when there's less familiarity. Now, the more you get to know a property, the more intimate you become with it, the more depth you'll have in a property. Well, you'll understand deep things. You'll keep learning more stuff. But it's almost like, that becomes like reading the same book or watching the same movie several times. You'll start to notice things you didn't notice on the first pass. But that first experience, when you watch that movie for the first time or you read that book for the first time, that's got a level of excitement to it that's really hard to match. So, I really enjoy that process, and much like a movie or a book, I guess a movie, you watch these trailers, and you start to get excited, this build up for it. Um, and over time, eventually when it finally happens, you're like, "This is it." And I liken that to, studying maps, whether back in the day, it was literal physical maps. You'd get a plat book, or you'd go print out this big map or what have you. That's still a thing. There's still companies doing that today in really fun ways, by the way. But also e-scouting, of course, getting on the computer, and obviously your phone, but looking at some of the data of where certain deer were tagged. Like if you're trying to really hone in on, getting a buck this year or a bigger buck or whatever, you might want to go look at harvest data. Where were all of the bucks harvested? And look for like weak spots or white space, where obviously in Wisconsin, Buffalo County is usually going to be like the cream of the crop. That doesn't mean I'm going to go hunt there. That could I have success? Sure. Am I going to find where to hunt there? Probably not. And so then you try to look for like, what are the local areas around there that maybe have been overlooked and so forth. But beyond that, then studying these maps and looking at the topography and the vegetation and the river systems and all that stuff. And in doing so, when you get boots on the ground, you go, "Oh, that's what's really going on here. Oh, that's what it's like. It's not as, hardcore as I thought, or this island isn't as, lucrative. It's not producing any acorns this year." Or, getting those boots on the ground starts to give you these revelations. And it could be quite the opposite. It could be, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing." And then you have that same excitement that I talked about for discovering the land to go hunt the land. So really, try to plan for next season's hunt and take this time to maybe explore some of those properties that you had thought about, or the places you had driven past last season but couldn't get to, or marked pins but couldn't get to, or maybe you saw a deer or sign in an area that you were hunting and you weren't able to go down that path because maybe another hunter was occupying it, or things of that nature. Just explore and have fun. This is a no pressure time of year to really kind of dig in and look at historical sign. So I'm excited to get out and do the same. I try to add 1 to 2 new properties a season, though that hasn't been the case as of recently just because of life. I've been hunting really local. And for that reason, this year, I like to get back to doing more of that exploratory type of hunting where I'm going to try a few different properties out, which gives you a good plan A, B, C, D, F, because it changes. You might get to a property and it's super crowded and there's nowhere to hunt, or there's no deer, or, there's all these different things that could kind of come into the fold. So the takeaway is a well thought out plan with a few new hunting locations can keep you motivated and improve your odds for next season. Hunting is a lifelong journey. Embrace the adventure of learning new ground. Thanks for trekking into the deer woods today. Have a great weekend and a great Saturday.